I don't know about the hula.
So, g'day, we're here with Dr. Alex Joannou in Coffs Harbour. Alex, thanks for joining us. Well, thanks for having me, I should say.
No worries.
So, love to hear, Alex, where were you in terms of, as a practice owner? You've got a big practice here. If you maybe just describe your practice first, what size is it and how long have you been running for?
Yeah, well, I've had the practice here in Coffs Harbour for 35 years, but over the last 15 years has grown from being just me to having 10 doctors working here.
Gotcha.
As well as nurses and administrative staff and psychologists and so forth.
So it's a big setup.
Yeah.
Cool. And about say think back 2 years ago. Where were you personally with how you felt about the practice and how it was going, and what led you to look for some help with coaching, for example?
Yeah. Well, at that time I felt like I was working for other doctors and other people here rather than them working for me. I'm 60 years of age now, and at that stage a couple of years ago I was thinking of how do I work my exit out of the business. Nobody seemed to be interested in buying in at that stage, and so when I saw what you were about, I thought I need some guidance.
Okay. So what was your state of mind at that point 2 years ago? How were you feeling about the practice?
Well, I started doing acupuncture and down the other end of the building, and which is in a separate area from the main practice, and I felt like that was my little escape hole to get away from all the problems of the practice. So I guess I was withdrawing.
Okay. And so we've been on a bit of a that's an interesting tumultuous journey at times, but what's it look like now as a result, and how do you feel about it? I guess in your words, how do you describe what's happened for you?
Well, there's massive changes. I guess when I hired you, Adam, I was really thinking of I need help so that you could work on my practice, but I've come to realise that you've been working on me, and that's the changes in me has reflected in the changes within the practice. Big time that the practice more reflects my personality than it ever has.
Cool. And how does that actually translate into results, or the vibe of the place, or the result? What's happening for the patients, for the staff as a result?
Initially it resulted in 3 doctors leaving, with 2 nurses and 2 reception staff, and but as those people left, which occurred over a space of about 2 or 3 months, the mood of the clinic here improved and kept improving, and has continued to improve, so that when the staff came to our recent Christmas party, several of them declared it was the best party they'd ever been to. And several of the staff have expressed to me that they just love working here and wouldn't consider leaving.
Awesome.
One of the other doctors said, "You're going to keep working past 35, aren't you? Because I don't want any other boss." So it's been all good.
Cool. In terms of the medicine you practice, one of the big things we've done here is change course and become more aligned with the medicine you believe in. So can you tell us a little bit about what's happening?
Yeah, I was going to say, I just thought that the mix of patients is changing. The doctors that left were doctors that were interested in rapid turnover and bulk billing, so they could earn as much money with as least effort as possible. And interestingly, the patients they took were generally those patients who were only interested in just coming in, getting a prescription and leaving. And the patients that we have now and the ones that started really coming to the practice in the last few months are very much interested in actually having a discussion about their health, which does take longer, but they're willing to pay for the extra time and effort you put into it. And also I don't feel as burdened because I don't see the health issues as my responsibility so much as a joint responsibility.
Between you and the patient.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Sorry, yeah, between
Yeah.
me and the patient.
And
So, so that's it means I get great satisfaction out of that, and particularly they're looking to come here because we aren't just pushing drugs onto people, but they are looking for drug-free solutions as we promote.
yeah, which is, I understand to be a much more satisfying and rewarding practice for you as a
absolutely.
doctor. Yeah.
And certainly at least a couple of other doctors here, Rosie and Adrian, who are very much into that. But I think that mood and the concepts is coming across to the other doctors who are what you call conventional type doctors.
Yeah, cool. And look, this is all great, but we are in business and everyone needs to make money, and it's all the touchy-feely, everyone feels good is fabulous, but does that mean you can still make money, and are you profitable as a result, or is the model we've put in place working for you from a purely financial perspective?
Well, no, it is good having touchy-feely, but the business is doing well, yes. Initially, when the other doctors left, there was a dramatic reduction in the overall billings, though the expenses were significantly reduced as well. So we weren't really out of pocket that way. We're still making a profit, but since then the numbers have really recovered almost back to where they were without any of the hassle and problems that I used to have.
So similar turnover.
So it seems easier
Yeah.
to make the money.
Yeah.
And because I've actually cut back on my hours, I'm actually contributing less to it because I'm spending time working on the business. So I'm contributing less to the total overall.
Cool.
So that others are picking up.
So it's actually supporting you as opposed to the other way around now. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good. In terms of hours, like you were doing some big long hours here for a long time. What's that look like now for you?
Well, it's a lot better. My days are shorter. I'm working 4 days instead of 5, so that's got to be a good thing.
Okay. In terms of the working with me and the processes that we use and sort of how I'm doing it, and how would you recommend it to others, or how would you describe it? What's the benefit from your end?
Well, I generally feel better. I feel more confident and healthier. It reflects in my private life as well as my public life.
Okay, cool.
Particularly staff have found me as a much more relaxed boss nowadays.
Good to hear. And if there's people out there watching this thinking of getting involved and doing some coaching with me or with the Entrepreneurs Men's Shed, or what would you say to them?
I'd say go for it. It's actually a lot more fun process than I would have imagined it would have been.
Yeah, cool. All right, Alex, well, thanks again, and look forward to watching the next instalment of your big journey, and it's been a great fun working with you so far. Looking forward to the next bit too. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks.